so far in April already, we've had 44 listings. So that's pretty great considering we're on home. We're all self-distancing, locked at home. Just to compare, in March, we had 66 when we were home for about half the month. So we're on track. It's great. You guys, everyone's still working. Things are still happening at, maybe not at the highest level, but we're keeping up with how we did last month when we still had some momentum going. So that is great. I don't know if any of you joined that or webinar yesterday. I know Mike said there was some great insights and like statistics and things like that. Maybe we'll share more about that on Friday. But Mike, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Oh, absolutely. And I'll be glad to send out a copy of the or a recording of the event. It featured three major players. One of them from NAR, which he's a hard guy to get. Dr. Yoon. He's spoken in Portland a couple of times since I've been around, but he's an absolutely excellent speaker, and he also does all the economics and planning and everything for NAR. So he certainly has credentials to it. And then Noah Blanton, which we've had in to speak, was also on there, and also Dr. Bill Conley. But anyway, it was a great presentation, well worth it. It was a very positive one, which is really nice to hear, and everything else and all the doom and gloom. He came out with it with a real good positive vibe to it. Some of the interesting things that really is that Dr. Yoon sort of equated to what we have is, unlike the 2008 recession, and I almost like to call it a depression because it didn't miss anybody, as this one hasn't. But this is more like hitting the pause button, and as soon as we get released, we'll be out of the gates like racehorses. So we'll recover some of our lost business as a total, and the thought process is that Oregon probably will recover better than many other states in the United States. But interestingly, they talked about home prices, and they thought they were actually going to go up in 2020, maybe up to 2%. And that's a lot of it's because of some pent-up demand, and also because just a lack of inventory will force the demand even higher. And their expectation is next year, 2021, will actually increase 2 to 4%. So both are very good news for our longevity in the business. And home sales, their thinking is maybe 5%, as much as 10, but in Oregon, they were thinking it was a 3 to 5% negative side of on the home sales, but much better than some of the doom and gloom forecasters. With 2021, they're thinking home sales will be up 8 to 12%. So again, the prognosis is we lost a month or two of business here, but business is out there and will be out there going forward, which gives you a lot of confidence in, are you in the right business? An 8 to 12% increase in sales really does speak to the longevity and the wanting to be in the business. So really, all really good news. But we'll talk a little bit more on Friday about it, and we go from there. If you guys have any questions, feel free to just drop me an email, or I'll be glad to send out the recording of it and some of the slides. Not all the slides. Dr. Yoon's, I have the slides. The other two, I don't have their slides, but they were more speaking off, just straight off their minds. So anyway, that's what I got for you right now. I'm looking at it for the third time today, because Dr. Yoon, he just rock and rolls through this thing. Trying to keep up with him. I mean, going through the second and third time, I keep having to hit the pause button and go back and see what he had said. So anyway.
So also, I was on that call too, and over 41,000 people came last year to Oregon. Isn't that amazing? 41,000. Wow.
Yeah, that's a great stat. And that's Tanya's going to show us something in a little bit on command, just exactly relating to that. And if anyone else has anything that they want to share from watching that presentation yesterday, maybe we'll talk more about that on Friday. But I just wanted Mike to hit on that because they're expecting that we'll only see a decrease of about 3 to 5% in our sales, right, due to COVID-19. So that's pretty remarkable for this year. And then by next year, actually increasing again. So that's some really good news, like Mike said. And then Jake, hi, I see you jumped on. Jake is going to be our special guest today in a little bit. He is a MAPS and BOLD coach. So we'll talk to him in a little bit. And thank you to any of our other guests who are on the call, some guest agents. And let's have Tanya. Are you ready to show your command tip of the day?
You bet, absolutely. So one of the things that Megan in our office has taken a big advantage of is referrals, being a referral agent and focusing on that. So I'm going to share my screen really quick and we're going to pop over into command. Everybody can see my screen. When you get to command, referrals are this little icon of the agent in like a pen. And again, if you just click on this red box, it'll open up here and tell you exactly what everything is, or you could just move your mouse over it and it'll tell you what they are. So you're going to click on referrals, and this is your dashboard, and it shows you where everybody's coming, or all your referrals that you have, agents that are in your network. And then you've got your referrals. If you have any referrals sent out, this is kind of an overall. There's active and expired. And then the big thing is the map. So when you go to the map, you can come on here and we can look at our area and look at referral patterns. Referral patterns are going to show us this is where everybody is moving from Portland to. So if you want to reach out to these areas, and you can see the percentage of people, so 5% of the people move from Portland to Portland in the referral network. And you can just keep going down through this. And so maybe you want to reach out to some agents in Tampa, Florida, connect with them, and then send referrals down there and of your people that are going down there. The other thing that you can do is, I love this going backwards. We just switch this to receive, and this shows where everybody's coming from and coming into Portland. So from Anchorage, Seattle, Nebraska, where's that? Omaha and Austin. Look at that. People are coming from Austin. So then you reach out to these areas. And this is also really good areas where you could post your Facebook ad campaigns to these cities to target audiences that might be moving from those areas to Portland. So that's just a quick little tip on how to do that. And then, you know, when you click on it, you can go to the referrals and you can search and find the agents in those areas. That's what I wanted to show you.
That's awesome, Tanya. Thanks for showing that. And you could even drill that down further if you wanted to see where people are moving to Lake Oswego from. But yeah, that's a great place to target as far as making some good connections and some referral partners. Does anyone have any questions about command, that referrals portion? And Tanya has been teaching at least 1 or 2 classes every week on command. So those have been going great. If you need a little extra one-on-one help, you want her to walk you through some things, definitely join those or reach out to her. So without further ado, Jake, and Jake, how do you pronounce your last name? I don't want to say it wrong. Gienger? Gienger, sorry.
Yeah, it's all good.
So Jake, like I said, he is a MAPS coach, BOLD coach. He's going to talk to us today about a little Who Moved My Cheese, right? Like the book. Like a good old book, right? And just talk to us about you know, what are we doing in this time? Kind of continuing what we've been talking about it, but making the most out of this time. So Jake, I will turn it over to you. Thanks for joining us.
Well, hey, thanks for letting me come in and have some fun with you. Really, I was talking to Dwayne earlier and talking to your leadership, and I said, hey, there's all sorts of stuff that we're putting together with this bold pivot, and we can bring a lot of it to you today just to help you through this process and what would be beneficial. We had this great conversation, and one of the things that came up is this dialogue, right, of hey, who moved my cheese? You know, the beginning of the year, I don't know about you, my team, we had these great big goals, these great ambitions. Anybody else have that? And then all of a sudden it feels like the brakes got put on. So I want to walk you through just an exercise that we did together with our team, and I've also done it with the market centers that I have the opportunity to run. And it's really brought some clarity to where things are at, and then just kind of walk you down a short little path. So here's what I'd like you to do. Take a piece of paper, go ahead and grab a blank piece of paper. And by the way, we're going to use the chat box as well. So go ahead and open up your chat box, and we'll work together in that chat box. And just draw a line right down the middle of that blank piece of paper. Because here's what we know. No matter what our world looks like, no matter what's going on in our world, guess what? There are people who have to buy, and there are people who have to sell. Do we agree? Thumbs up if you agree. All right. So here's the question. Put on the left-hand side of that page, sellers. On the right-hand side of that page, write buyers. And let's just do a little mastermind, because with many minds, it makes it a little easier than just my little one. So let's get together and talk about who has to sell? Who's selling in today's market? Because we're all still working with them, yet who is selling? You can pop it in the chat box. You can unmute yourself if you'd like. Who are the sellers? Relocation, 100%. What else? Divorce. Yep. So we've got relocation, divorce. Who else? Financials, 100. Yes. We're finding folks that are in chat that are having financial troubles, or who have the ability and have a desire to take advantage of the equity that they may have gained. So financially, what else? How about this? Investors, right? You got folks who invest in VRBOs or home away type of property. They may have some challenges. Seniors, people who are looking to move down or move to that single level, 1031 exchange. Folks who are growing, their family's growing and expanding. They may have that the necessity as well. So we could continue down and create a pretty big list. Would y'all agree? Now, on the right-hand side where we've got buyers, who are our buyers? Who are the buyers that have to buy today? A lot of the same, right? You got your 1031 exchange, your investors, if they're doing the 1031 exchange to avoid the taxation. Seniors who are moving down or looking for that again, forever property. Folks who are selling to buy that bigger house. Relocation, first timers looking to take advantage of the interest rates in the market. I mean, come on, we're talking about 3.25% interest rate today, somewhere in there. By the way, I'm not a lender, so don't take that for truth. Yet, that's where we sit. However, they've got that opportunity. What else? Investors looking to take advantage of opportunities in today's market as well. However, the point of this whole exercise, and we could continue down this process for about another 10 or so minutes, yet what I really want you to understand is there's buyers and there's sellers in every market. Now, it's really interesting because I don't know about you. I woke up a couple weeks ago and man, I was in a funk because in Colorado, our attorney general came out 2 weeks ago and said, hey, realtors, if you show a property, if you hire a photographer, if you hire an inspector, you will go to jail for a year. That was awesome. Right? So I was up all night that night and I was a little freaked out and a little concerned, and I had a great coaching call the next day with my MAPS coach, Debbie Frapp. And here's what she did. She walked me through an exercise because she called up and she said, hey, Jake, how are you doing? And it wasn't the typical chipper, hey, I'm great, let's go. It was, you know, we're hanging in there. And she just asked a lot of great questions to kind of pull this out. And she taught me a super valuable technique that I'm going to teach you all right now. Because here's the thing. We can look at this list and we can see this great list. However, if we don't approach it with the right mindset, it doesn't mean anything. Excuse me. So what we're going to do, and what Debbie Frapp taught me, was just a simple 3-step process. She said there's a 3-step process to get back into action when you've kind of gone to freak out mode. And the process was really simple. What she said is it's this. It starts off with your soul. We've got to fill our soul or our spirit with the right stuff. And we do that through gratitude. So step number 1 is gratitude. And again, this sounds familiar. If you've been in Bold before, you might know this exercise. So take a minute and write down 5 things you're grateful for. And let's all do this together. So write down your 5 gratitudes. What are 5 things you're grateful for today? And as I started to write those 5 things down, and I started to finish, she said, now circle 1. Just pick 1 right now, and let's focus on it for a minute. And I didn't know where Debbie Frapp was going on this one. So I circled my home. You know, we'd been in the house for a couple of weeks at that point. And here's what she did. She said, so what is it about the house? What is it about your home that you're grateful for? And she started to ask these questions to really dig deeper, to cause the emotion to come out, to cause the connectivity, right? So she said, what was it about the home? What is it about, you know? And I said, well, it's you know, I'm grateful that we have this place, right? That we can truly be safe at home. I know others that may not have this the type of luxury that we do. Or, you know, and I've got 5 kiddos. I'm grateful that they could be here and the house is big enough for us all to do our thing. And we just kind of walked down this path. Finally, I stopped and I said, Debbie, are you trying to get me to cry here? What's the point? And she laughed and she said, no, really what we're working on is connecting the emotion. She says, gratitude is powerful, and yet it's even more powerful when you connect the emotion behind the words. So what is it that causes you to be grateful for that item or for those people? And what are they doing? And how is it impacting you? And as we allow that to dig deeper, what it allows us to do is connect the emotion, right? And in Bold, we teach that logic makes you think and emotion makes you act. So it's connecting the emotion. She said, that's great. So now you're starting to fill your soul with gratitude, with the right purpose. She said, step number 2 now is take it to your mindset. And I said, okay, so what's that step? And she said, by the way, you know this, it's in Bold. So we're going to do the exercise together. She says, it's an exercise around control. So go ahead and grab, you might need another blank page. However, grab a blank page. We're going to cut that one in half as well. We're just going to draw a line right down the middle. And on the left-hand side, write things I cannot control. Things I cannot control. And on the right-hand side, write things I can control. So I wrote down things I cannot control. And then on the right-hand side, I wrote things I can control. So let's do this one together as well. Fill the chat box. You can speak up if you'd like. What are some of the things we cannot control today? Go ahead, just spew it all out, all the bad stuff.
COVID-19.
Yeah, we can't control the disease, right? COVID. What else can we not control? The quarantine, the length of that quarantine, the expectations or the laws around that quarantine. What else?
That we have to homeschool our kids right now.
Oh, yes. By the way, we cannot control, not only that we get to homeschool our kids, we can't necessarily control how they respond to said homeschooling, right? I mean, I like to say that I'm the principal, my wife's the teacher. And when we had 2 inches of snow the other day, so I called a snow day, and she was not thrilled about that. And yet it was fun, right? We had some surprises for the kiddos. It was part of that gratitude moment that we got the opportunity to take advantage of. And yet I also can't control if they start fighting right above me and you all get to hear it. You know, we've all had it happen. So we can't control that. We can't control the lack of toilet paper, 100%. Or hand sanitizer, by the way. Yes. Health issues. Those of us who may have them or have been affected by it. We can't control it. We can't control how the market responds. We can't control what the government chooses to do. We can't control the length, the duration of this challenge. However, here's the fun part. If we focus on all the stuff we cannot control, what I'd like you to write is one single word at the top of that. Write fear. Just write the word fear. Because here's why. If we just focus on all the stuff we can't control, it creates fear. It creates anxiety. It creates uncertainty. And as we dwell in that, that's what starts to cause that spiral down. So as we then flip to the other side, what can we control today? What are the things we can control today? Our mindset, 100%. What else? Our attitude, how we choose to show up. What else? What we can do to help and where we can. That's correct. We can control how we operate and how we help. We can control our schedule, our actions, what we eat. Yes. How we take care of our bodies and ourselves, 100%. What else can we control? We get to control the conversations we have. We get to control how we reach out and how we connect with others. We get to control who we show up as, how we treat others during this process, how we deal with our own stress and our own challenges, right? We get to control all those things. And when you look at those two sides, which would you rather focus on, the control side or the cannot control side? Who's in for control? Right? It's all about focusing on what we can control. So here's what I would like to do right up above control. Write the word faith. In bold, we teach that fear or faith, you choose. And it's not necessarily a spiritual faith. You can choose to take it that way. However, here's the other piece. We have faith that this will subside. We have faith that if we do the right things, the right response and the right outcomes will show up. We have faith that by moving forward, it will create the momentum we desire. Right? It's all about that fear or faith we get to choose. So number one, we take care of our spirit, of our soul through gratitude. Number two, we take care of our mindset by focusing on what we can control. And she said, number three, super simple. It's our actions. It's our activities. And she said, if you ever get stuck and you don't feel like doing anything, because we all know what we should do, she said, instead of that, go serve. Find a way to serve somebody. And if that means making breakfast for the kiddos in the morning, if that means taking a break and going out and having lunch on the lawn because you can, if that means dropping stuff off for those folks that are in need, find a way to be of service. She says, when you start in service and you start in that motion of service, it makes it easier to understand and connect the dots that what we're doing today with our clients, the reach outs that we're having. By the way, the script is not the right script from First Step where we say, hey, I'm in a contest. I only need 10 referrals to win. That is not the right script today. However, the script that you could take in is the simple conversation of, hey, how are you doing? How are you feeling? How are things going? By the way, so who's the better teacher? Bring in some levity, have some fun, and enjoy that, right? I found out since I've not been on the road, I've been on the road 3 to 4 days a week for 6 years straight as a Bold coach. It's been awesome. It has taken an adjustment for my lovely wife, who is a saint, to get used to having me at home all the time. I could only imagine. However, what I found was my best resource was to be the dishwasher. I do the dishes. I load the dishwasher. I unload the dishwasher. We stay engaged, and then I teach my kids how to play. We play candy poker every night with the kids. That's how we do math. And yet we have a lot of fun, right? Are we taking the moment to enjoy these times? Are we taking the moment to really see the blessing that's in it? so that we can then do the actions that are necessary to help those around us. Our databases and our clients need us today more than ever. There are people out there who have to buy, they have to sell, and they're looking for somebody like you who is a professional in today's market that knows how to guide them through that, to build that out. The coolest part about working with people today is they're not asking you what's your commission. What they're asking is now the right time? It's an incredible opportunity for us to step up as the professional and help guide them through that. By the way, all of this is just a simple taste of what you're going to get in Bold Pivot. This is what we've been putting together and what we've been writing. Our intention with Bold Pivot is it's a 2 hours, 2 days a week, plus the coaching corner, plus the Facebook page, where we pour into you, and we pour into you with mindset, with actions, activities, and training, so you can walk out prepared in today's market with today's circumstances to maximize your opportunities. And that's what Bold Pivot's all about. So I'm going to pop in the Bold Pivot registration link so you guys have it. If you are already signed up for Bold Pivot, just pop in the link, pop in the chat that you're in so we know who's there. What happened with the inspector situation? That's a great question. It's called preparation. So here's what we did do, and I'll answer that question. For those of you all are attending Bold Pivot, drop in the chat box I'm in. If you'd like to attend or you're going to sign up today, drop in, sign me up. We'll help you get squared away. That's the link. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. Here was the question we always asked. So my real estate team does about 150, 200 transactions a year in Denver. And the conversation we had every week, we just had this yesterday, is 2 weeks down the road, worst case scenario, what could happen? And how do we prepare? So we are constantly looking 2 weeks ahead and preparing. And when we figured out, okay, well, we may not be able to have photography, we may not be able to have inspectors, every listing we took for those 2 weeks, we actually pre-inspected the property with a sewer scope and in Colorado with radon, so that they had a full inspection that the buyers could purchase. And then most of our buyers, we only had one buyer that didn't purchase those inspections upon going under contract. And that was how the inspector got paid. So we negotiated with the inspector that they would be paid at the time of close or when the buyer purchased it. And that's how we took care of it. And I'm telling you, it worked. We did all sorts of stuff. Now we're actually able to, starting on Monday, we can go show a house. It's awesome. We can have inspections. That's great. And we get to do photography. Woo! Because, man, you should have seen some of the pictures. And yet it worked, right? We find a way. We made it work. During the course of the last 3 weeks when we were under those tight restrictions, we still took 12 listings and put 12 under contract. Every single one of them went under contract in less than 24 hours. It was crazy, because what it told us was our market still had a huge desire and a huge gap for homes. We just weren't listing enough properties to take care of the buyers. So these are the types of conversations you're going to get in Bold Pivot. We're actually interviewing top agents right now across the country, implementing the systems and the models that they teach us so that we can bring them to you in Bold Pivot. We just wrapped up an interview with a team in Detroit, in Grand Rapids, Michigan. They're under serious lockdown, like they can't even leave the house type of lockdown. And they're still selling property. So we worked with them to figure out what they're doing and how they'd modify their systems and the conversations and the scripts that they're having with their clients to help them feel comfortable in today's market. For buyers to go under contract without even looking at a house. It's awesome, the stuff that we'll be bringing to you. So here's the best part about Bold Pivot. It's $99. $99. The schedule, you'll have Bold Pivot will be from 1 to 3 Central. It'll be live streamed, and that's going to be on Tuesdays and Thursdays. There's also going to be a coach's corner, and we're working on breaking that up based on topics. So you can come in and check out the topic that you're interested in on Wednesdays and Fridays from 1 to 3 as well. And that's all for you. And then here's the coolest part. For those who are in, make sure you have access to the Bold Facebook page, the Bold Pivot Facebook page. I'm going to pop that in the link as well. And the reason is the Bold Pivot Facebook page is where all of this information will be disseminated. This is where it'll all be passed along. You'll get access to all of your materials. The live stream will be here. We'll also go back in and record that so you can watch it later if that time doesn't work for you. And on that Bold Pivot Facebook page, what you're going to get is already it's being filled with scripts, dialogues, videos from our top agents and their successes. So you're getting information today that you can use today, all for 99 bucks. That's why I would say sign up today. Don't wait, because that'll help you out there. What questions do you have, Corinne? What questions haven't I answered?
I don't know. Does anyone else have any questions about Bold? I mean, actually, maybe you can talk about the regular Bold, or the traditional Bold versus this.
Sure. So here's the fun part. Traditional Bold, a year ago, we started this process of rewriting traditional Bold. And what we found is we set a goal as coaches, as head coaches, to keep it updated and current from the start. So we never would get to that point where it got stale or old again. So every round, we actually updated traditional Bold based on the new numbers, the new statistics, the new information that we were pulling from top teams, what was working, what wasn't. So we've always been in this reinvention mode. And then COVID-19 hit. And the fun part about it is because we've always been doing this, it gave us an opportunity to really put it back on steroids again. And we've been working with the writer staff and everybody else. This will be delivered digitally versus in person. So we put it together so it could be delivered in a manner that we could receive today. Number one. Number two, we put it together in a way that anybody could have access to it. So this class is designed for everybody. Yes, it's going to be designed for you as agents. It's not just designed for KW agents though. So I would go back and look at who have you done business with in the last year? Because what we're receiving through KW, most of our fellow agents are not. And it's a huge opportunity for them to come be a part of this without the pressure of, hey, come join. This truly is about how do we come together as a realtor community to ensure that those who do want to make this work and make this their living have the opportunity to do so. Number one. Number two, we're seeing people's spouses sign up. We're seeing their business-to-business partners sign up. We've got everything from insurance agents to inspectors to photographers. You name it, we're seeing them jump in as well. Because what they're saying, what they're saying is in this market, they need it just as much as all of us. It's going to be it's going to be a combination of mindset, which is what Bold's known for, activities, which is what we're known for, and concepts. How do we expand our opportunities? How do we expand our reach? Where are those opportunities at? When we were doing our interviews, the reason VRBOs came up on that list is because we were interviewing somebody else on the East Coast, and that's what they started doing, was calling right out of VRBO.com and just having conversations with the investors, asking how they were doing, because those homes aren't being rented right now, and if they were in a financial position to carry that mortgage for the next 3 to 6 months as they sustain this little downturn. And if they weren't, many of them had equity. So they were listing properties left and right. By the way, most of them have multiples, not just one. And it was just little ideas like that help them continue to drive their business forward and be of service, not an ambulance chaser.
Great. Thank you, Jake. And I see Marcella is going to sign up. So yay, Marcella. Melanie will reach out to you. If anyone else wants to sign up, reach out to Melanie. Or she has posted the link to sign up yourself, but feel free to reach out to Melanie and she'll walk you through it. And yeah, Jake, thank you again for your tips. Yay. And Terry too. I love it. I know a lot in the past, sometimes people haven't really been or wanted to do Bold because of either the financial aspect of it or maybe even the time commitment, but now it is a shorter time and a shorter price. So, and a lot of people have a little bit more downtime to really focus on what am I doing and, themselves. So, I think it's a pretty good time, right? And you said if you miss one for some reason, you can watch it later.
Correct. Yep. It will. The live stream, the Tuesdays and the Thursdays will be recorded, and posted later. So you'll be able to go back and watch that at a later time.
That's great. And for us, if you're looking at your schedule to try to fit it in, it's 11 to 1 our time those days. Oh, Pam's in too. I love it. I'll have Melanie reach out to you, all 3 of you guys. Write that down. It is how many weeks, Jake?
It will be the month of May, so it's 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Yep. The only day we will not have the live stream is going to be on Red Day, on that Thursday, so that we can all go out and serve in the community in whatever way we can.
Awesome. And we'll have some more, speaking of that, we will have some more information about our Red Day soon. We're just finalizing, some details and taking everyone's ideas and kind of figuring out how we're going to do it safely, but still give back. So, Jake, thank you so much for being here. Oh, Chris Aldridge just signed up. I love it.
No.
Look at this. Look at you, Jake. You're making it go up. So,
well, here's my last question. Based on the conversation we had today, what are your ahas? What are you taking away from that dialogue? When we talk about, that there are opportunities out there and those 3 little steps to kind of get back into action. What are you taking away?
anyone feel free to come off mute.
I did a good job then.
You did a good job. I like the fear versus faith. Oh yeah, lean into faith and on what you can control rather than leaning into the fears. Yeah.
Very much so. Today's that opportunity. By the way, this is a really cool exercise also to take to your sphere and your client base, because sometimes they need it just as much as we do.
Great. Thank you so much, Jake.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too.
See y'all.
All right, everyone. I think, Tanya, Heather, you guys have anything else?
Not right offhand.
All right, guys. That's
I'm going on vacation.
So don't bug Tanya with weekend questions.
After 5 p.m. today, you will not be able to reach me.
Well, you're going to go diving?
No, we can't do that. I'm actually just, I'm almost at my year and I haven't taken vacation. So I'm utilizing the time to finish my remodel as quickly as possible. And you'll be able to contact Melanie for command stuff. You'll be able to talk to Heather as always for financial stuff. Mike and Chantel are available for you guys for anything to do with transactions or, anything with that. Crane's available for just odd stuff. She's busy doing her recruiting. We don't want to bug her. So you guys can live without me for 1 week. And when I get back on Thursday, Friday next week, there will be a couple command classes on the calendar. You'll get that on the weekly calendar. So
What are you remodeling?
our house,
Everything?
the entire main floor and
my
the
God.
upstairs landing. So I've been doing it after work every day and every weekend for the past couple weeks, and I'm tired. So I want to take it and just get it all done in one spot and not have to work after I get off every day. So.
Oh, and do you want to talk about that known command issue actually with the listing?
There's, we thought it might have been isolated to just a few agents with listing issues. But then after digging into it and finding out a little bit more, there's, I think I found the issue and the problem. There was an update between MLS and KW, and I've escalated the issue, and I'm waiting to find out how fast it's going to get fixed. So it is a critical fix, and so any listings that you have that you've entered in from April 9th going forward to today, your pictures aren't there, and I've researched every listing we have, so I know anything entered in prior to that, your pictures are there, but anything going forward, there's no pictures. So that's obviously a major issue. So it's getting taken care of, and I'm on top of it, and I'm working with our regional tech advisor and KW support.
Great. Thanks, Tanya. And if anyone has other things that they want to learn from Command, feel free to tell any of us, and Tanya can keep doing the classes. You've done campaigns, smart plans, right?
And actually a lot more, because I ask if they have questions and then we go off into, one of my classes was like 5 different things.
Cool.
So Yeah, if you guys want to watch them again, they are reshared on our Facebook page. Austin's going to be sharing the link to our YouTube channel. So if you want to just go subscribe to the YouTube channel, so it's a lot easier to find. They're all there, as well as all of these meetings. So he's going to share that link on our Facebook group today as well. So you can still have me even though I'm not here.
And otherwise, yeah, those are really small groups, hands-on, answer your questions. So if you're having trouble or stuck, jump on one of those.
Yeah, yesterday we did a Facebook ad campaign. So, or not a campaign, sorry, a smart plan for the follow-up to the campaigns.
Nice.
Oh, and because of the listing issue, if you're not able to get a listing campaign done this week, we will extend it through next week as well for the $25, the one-time $25 credit from the MC, just because of the issues.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful day. See you on.
Bye, guys.